Hello, and welcome to Old School Nana. I'm Nana, and this is my old schoolhouse. This is where I live. I'm so glad you guys stopped by to join us today. Today I have a special treat for you. We're going on a walking field trip right here at the old schoolhouse. It's a beautiful, sunny, breezy, warm September day, and so I was just thinking I would take you along with me and show you some things, some history and some mystery about this old schoolhouse. We'll look at some old school skills. Uh, as we like to do around here, we like to harness the energy of the sun and the wind and old school practices. Also, there's a kind of a mystery I want to show you. How in the world did a bullet get lodged in a window? Well, anyway, come on with me and we'll go through a few things. We won't see everything all in one day, but we'll try to see as much as we can, and then we'll come back another time. It makes me think, Maggie, you'll remember this, about taking the eighth graders to Washington, D.C. You know, we would fly there and then we would board a tour bus, and the tour guide would show us different things. They would stop, at the different historical sites. But while we were traveling from site to site, the tour guide would talk about maybe what we had just seen or what we were going to see next. So as we travel from one site to the next, I'll be your tour guide today. The first stop I want to bring you to is the place that would have been the source for water for the schoolhouse back when it was constructed in 1938 and dedicated early 1939. They didn't have running water inside, and they did not have electricity. So there would have been a pump. This is not, I don't think anyway, the original one. I don't know what happened to it. We just picked this one up at a flea market, and it's just here really just for looks. However, there really is a well down here, and there really is water in it. Last time we checked, I think the water table was somewhere around 15 to 18 feet. So should we ever want to, we could actually get a pump that actually works, and we would be able to have our own supply of water. All right, let's travel on, and we'll try to stop at the next place that I think is interesting, and I'll tell you a little story about it as well. Y'all, there are stories everywhere here, and we will just keep on telling them. And I hope you'll keep coming back. If you haven't subscribed and are, if you're not getting notifications, you might want to do that. And that way, anytime I put a new video out about this old schoolhouse, then you'll know that there was something new coming up. All right. So I want to show you, this was the cellar. Now, this was here originally, would have been built just like the schoolhouse by the WPA. And this cellar is about, I don't know, about 12 feet by 12 feet square, and it's about 7 feet deep. And you can see um, for air, now that was just a hole when we got here, and we covered that up. And there was also would have been like an escape window on the back that's been closed up with just some bricks. But what I really want to tell you about, a couple little stories right here. When we got here, the cellar opening was just completely open. There was no door, and there are some pretty steep steps that go down into this cellar. Like I said, probably 7, 8, maybe 10 feet deep, and and it was pretty much full of water, because we thought it was just because it didn't have a door on it, but apparently water is leaching in through the sides of the concrete and the rock. So even after putting a door on it, which we did, it still filled up with water. Well, anyway, so here we were. We get here and this is open and there's water in there. And come to find out also, I don't know, koi or goldfish or something. We don't, fish that were fairly large and they were gold. And so we said, well, we've got family that comes out here for family get togethers, and some of them have small children. And we certainly wouldn't want well, and some of them, even some of the aunts, some of my mother's sisters are even older than I am. So, we don't want anybody to fall in and trip over and get hurt or even running around out here at night or walking around. So Papa and we construct this door. Well, the first thing before we put the door on, we say, we probably should go ahead and try to drain this water, kind of clean it out. 'Cause we thought once we did that, again, no water. Well, so we get a pump and we drain it, clean it out. By then, there were no goldfish left in there, but what was still in there was a turtle. And so we say I did not touch the turtle. Papa gets that turtle and he uh, reaches up, over this doorway and he puts the turtle down and he goes back down in there and he's shoveling up just like wet leaves and muck, and handing 5-gallon buckets up here and I'm taking them over and dumping them in the ditch. Well, it wasn't just a minute or two till that turtle, he crawls over there to those steps and just goes bloop, 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 right back down the steps. So Papa's like, all right, picks him up, puts him down, puts 5-gallon bucket over top of him. Next thing you know, dumps the bucket over, right back down the steps he goes. Well, finally, Papa put him in the back of the truck and drove him down to the creek where there was some water. And he says, I don't know how in the world this turtle, keep got in here. I said, well, I don't think he put his thumb out and hitched a ride. I think he probably walked. And that's why he just kept walking and coming back down. Well, anyways, so we put this door on there and it had hinges and everything. We'll walk around here so y'all can see those hinges. And it's quite heavy, probably weighs at least 100 pounds. And so Papa devised, because he's brilliant like that, a pulley system and a counterweight. Those are just old window weights, if anybody knows what those are. And that way we could lift the door easily, put a pump down in there, and water our garden in the summertime. And if you come on around here, you'll see the hinges. Um, when we say the wind comes sweeping down the plain, I'm talking this wind, it was a straight wind. It was not a tornado, although this house has been hit by a tornado before, and we'll come back to that story a different day. It was just a straight wind, literally blew the cellar door off and blew it over here sideways into the yard. True story. Well, we'll head on down the sidewalk now because when we looked at this place, now we bought it sight unseen off the internet. And when we would look at the Google Earth, we could see that there were sidewalks and one went straight to the east and one went kind of angled to the south and east. And I said, I'll bet you those are going to outhouses. Papa's like, nah, I don't think they did. Well, come to find out, a really good neighbor that we met after we moved out here brought a lady down, introduced her to us. She had actually attended school here when she was a child. And sure enough, these sidewalks led to the boys' outhouse and the girls' outhouse. I was pretty astonished that there was one of each. All right. Well, I promised you that we would talk about how it is that out here in this part of the country, somebody like me who likes to do things old school way harnesses the power of sun and wind. We don't need solar panels out here. We have plenty of sun, and we don't need wind turbines. We have plenty of wind. And so, any day like this one, I love to come hang my clothes out on the clothesline. Not only am I saving electricity, I'm probably saving the planet, but more than that, I love the fact that when I take these inside, they smell so good. They smell of sunshine and fresh air, and nothing is better than that to me. All right, well, let's keep moving. That's Papa's little stick of a peach tree.
and it's struggling. It's been struggling for about 3-4 years. And he keeps saying, "You want me to cut that thing down?" I said, "No, it's trying to live. If it's going to try to live, we'll let it try." And so you'll probably see these two big oak trees. You won't be able to see them completely in this picture that we're doing. But what I wanted to say is they would have just been little sticks, at the time the school was built. And they've grown into just huge, beautiful oak trees. They provide a great deal of shade to the windows to the east side of the house. Actually, I think there probably would have been 4 of them across, and now we only have 2. I know the neighbor told us that there used to be pine trees in the front yard, and that a tornado that blew into this house, well, that's a different story. But anyway, she said the tornado blew pine trees away. So we'll come around to this is the north side of the house, and there's a beautiful chimney. I don't know. How tall is it, Papa?
Tall.
Tall? Really tall. It works. We had some chimney guys came out. We had them come out, make sure we were able to use our wood burning stove and not set the house on fire, although it's rock and I don't think it would have burned. But anyway, um, they said they showed us in the camera. It was beautiful in there. It was clean. It had a clay pipe, and first time we lit up the probably some oak or something in there in our old stove. It drew perfectly well and took the chill off the big room on the inside. Of course, y'all know we do have heat, but we like burning that. It's just, I don't know. It's old school. I enjoy it. All right, here we go. This is the part I told you about that was mystery. So, this old house has a lot of history and several mysteries. Well, this mystery is these windows. Now, these were the original schoolhouse windows. And I believe probably the man who bought it in 1982 from the Welch School District, he welded this. I think Papa thinks it's about 1/8 inch, maybe 3/8 inch plate steel over these windows. And that's okay because really they make great shutters for hail and wind. You can close them down. And but if you want to use the windows, you can come out, you can open them up. Now, originally there would have been now see there's new windows in here now. But originally there would have been a like a steel rod that went, I can't quite reach it, but y'all can see from here to here. And then these handles, you would have pulled on these handles to close, like the teacher or somebody, to close the windows and then turn them, and that would have locked the windows closed from the inside around this steel rod that would have been here. Well, that's not the mystery. The mystery is how in the world bullets here, I'm calling that probably a BB gun, maybe, but that probably looks bigger than a bullet. Please put something in the comments and tell me, or bigger than a BB gun. Please put something in the comments. Tell me what you think that was. Here, and Papa, come around. There would have been one there. It's been covered up. Definitely one here that's still visible. Now that's a mystery. How in the world y'all think that got in there? Well, I can tell you what the rumor is. The neighbor told us that the man that was working on this house, now this is truth, I can verify it looking at prison records. That's all I'm going to say about that. He did do something really bad, but he had a girlfriend living with him, and that she got very mad at him, and that she started shooting up the inside of the house. That's the rumor. I can't prove it one way or the other, but what I can say with pretty much certainty is somebody shot some bullets from the inside of the house, and at the time, the shutters were probably closed. That's what I'm going with. So please put some comments down there and let me know what you really think. All right. Well, that's our little tour for the day. We're coming back around to the west side of the house. And I'm just tickled to death that y'all decided to join us. And I really hope that, as we continue to at least expose the mysteries, we may not unravel any of them, but at least tell you some of the stories, because this old house has a lot of stories of its own. And some of those mysteries are just frozen in time. And we may never know. We may never solve them. But anyway, the most important thing that I can say to you today is this. Just in case no one has told you today, Nana loves you.